Welcome to the MOBBGOD show. Home of the unapologetic, where we do what the fuck we like, because we never waited on permission. Straight from the heart of Louisiana's capital city, we bringing you the stories they won't tell, the conversations they can't control, and the game they hope you never learn. Raw street culture, music, business, politics, and real life experiences coming live from Baton Rouge to the rest of the world. Welcome to the MOBBGOD show. What it do, we are back again at the MOBBGOD show. We just got our first inaugural show out the way. It was a success. Talked about some pretty good things with, with detail, because a lot of times when you say you don't like this and that, if you don't have a reason, that means you just hate. So, hopefully everybody learned something from the last one. And today we just gonna go off the dome, bro. We wanted to see what the live stream would do and how it would help us out. But also because a lot of stuff been going on in the city, man. And starting out with Pastor Tony Spell, we gotta give a big kudos to Pastor Tony Spell. And traditionally, you don't normally see a pastor having to come out of character and lay hands on people in more than one way. So today, Pastor Spell had to give them a blessing. I got the backstory on it. Apparently, a guy, there's a interracial couple, and they attend the church where he's the pastor. According to the deacon, one of the guys said to the black lady, that he was gonna F her, and he wanted to grape the daughter to the white man and his family, and his black wife. And so this happened in Central. And Central don't have the best reputation, I haven't been out there in a minute. But you know what I'm saying? It's hit or miss out there. I want to commend him for standing up for what was right in a situation like that, because just like I was saying on the last show, on the first episode, I see it in every movement where black people, had advancement or whatnot. It was white people nearby helping. Everybody wasn't trying to hurt. So I mean, we all got our opinions on if you should marry your own or not marry your own. Personally, I haven't dated nothing but black women. But I feel like you love who you love. And it's not on us to decide who loves who, as long as it's genuine. As long as there ain't nothing crazy going on, or the black woman being fetishized and all that. As long as that ain't going on, I'm cool with it. But, at the end of the day, it's two things, right or wrong. So for him to have to, back to the story, this happened in Central, right? Is that where the little guy just wrote on that lady stuff?
On the door?
Yeah, on the garage.
Yeah, on the garage, yeah.
So we already had an incident with the guy, the little 13-year-old, spray painting slurs on a black lady garage door. And the community came together. Salute to the community that helped paint a garage and wipe all that stuff down. But it sounds like something going on in Central that we need to check. And if that's somewhere where we need more attention for our people to be okay, then y'all just gotta speak up. But apparently the guy shouted slurs at this family, and they called the cops. The police came, said they couldn't do nothing about it. That pissed the pastor off. So that's the backstory on it. So all of a sudden, they couldn't catch up with him, and he must have seen him today. And the pastor went on ahead and on. Man, I ain't never seen nothing like that. But this Baton Rouge though. And I was just saying it's a hard-nosed city. And I was just saying also that, man, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So the pastor jumps out his truck in the middle of the highway, runs across the highway, immediately start decking the man. You know what I'm saying? They went fisticuffs immediately. And the pastor was really getting the best of this dude, like whamming on him. And I'm like, damn. But at the same time, it really don't surprise me because anything can happen on any given day in Baton Rouge. And it always do. It always do. Just like they always got a Florida man as the going joke, you know. They always talking about people in Florida doing random shit, but man, any day in Baton Rouge, you'll see some crazy shit. But once again, kudos to Pastor Tony Spell. I'm gonna have to look up the church, you know, and shout the church out later on. But you know, right is right and wrong is wrong. Not only was he calling them racial slurs, but he was also making threats. You know what I'm saying? Like disgusting threats. And when you talk to people like that, when your mind even comes up with the kind of sick shit that he was saying, I'm trying to let you know that this is a culture for some of these. What it do is the Honorable Mob God checking in. We appreciate y'all checking us out. Make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be doing shows and new episodes every week covering a broad range of topics. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. The Mob God Show. All right, KARMELO, he got a new team ready for his appeal. They got new details coming out. Some people saying that the dude fell on him. We know for sure it wasn't a knife. It was a track cleat, which is it's a track cleat instrument that they use to put the cleats in the track shoes. It had a sharp end on it, but think about it. If you're in danger, you just grabbing anything. And the more I probed into it, the more they changed their story. One of his homeboys who used to be with him all the time said that they wasn't even close. You know what I'm saying? He just bailed on him. They in buku pictures together. You know what I'm saying? He's like, oh, I don't really know him like that. Some other people took video and stuff that they didn't want to submit. But if they wasn't wrong, why would the judge retire the day after? The next fucking day? That's how they know they was just, you know. And then they was turning away the black jurors that they did have. They was waving them on bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Waving them on bullshit and didn't want them on the thing. But you have to have a jury of your peers. If it's geriatrics on the jury, 60-year-old, 70-year-old, 80-year-old white people, that's not a jury of your peers. I see Charleston White was down here the other day. I'm looking at my barber page, and my barber, shout out to my barber, man. He brother them youngest brother, man. And Ty, I'm looking on his page, and I see Charleston White going ham on that bitch, just dancing, full of that shit. I say, man, I'm looking like this a clip from somewhere else, but the background looked like they was at Smoke Bayou. I say, man, what the fuck going on? Yeah, nigga done pulled up down here, went to the Silly Rabbit and all that shit. But I think dude be antagonizing. I think he be antagonizing more than he be helping. You know? Yeah, I seen that, but Charleston, you 115, bro. Soaking wet. And I know you're gonna whip that mace out. So, you know, I think he just done found I think he has found his method to stay relevant in the internet by just constantly going against the grain, just being a shock jock. Because he just said all kind of shit about raping women and, You know what I'm saying? Fuck babies and, fuck your kids and all that type of shit. That wore the Confederate flag around as a blanket and just a whole bunch of monkey ass shit. And I guess if that's how you gotta get it, you know what I'm saying? That's what the internet doing these days. But yeah, man, the crazy thing is last year I was that nigga was playing some Boosie music, and he always hate on Boosie. He can't stand Boosie. Boosie can't stand him. But he playing a song I produced uh, by Boosie, and he's singing that bitch word for word. He's talking about, this that real shit here right here, Boosie. You need to get back to this, Boosie. I said, yeah, that nigga know what's happening, though. He know, bro. I think he been a fan of that, man. It's just that sometimes when niggas want to be your friend and you don't give them that attention, they don't know how to take it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's some niggas I ain't gonna want to be cool with, or you can't get me to be cool with, you know what I'm saying? And they take that the wrong way, then all of a sudden here come all the hatred, or, you know what I'm saying? And so everybody need to keep more of an eye on their kids because they got some psychos out here running loose. And what's crazy, it ain't just the white community. We dealing with Jadarius still missing after all this time. And I know Maurice. I don't know him well, but I know him in passing. And to me, the last time I spoke to him, he was a little weird. The fact that they are alleging that your 50-something-year-old ass beat a child to death. And the child was trying to check you over the way you were speaking to a 16-year-old who you had no business dealing with anyway. And it just make me hug my kids tighter and love them more. Because just like I told y'all on the last episode, kids act out. And the only time they get attention is when they fucking up or when they doing something wrong. So sometimes they be like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do. But there's so many things we could do before that happens. A lot of people give up on their kids and their kids give up on the parents. That should be your first line of defense. Should always know where your kids are. And back to Jadarius, his family said he was the kind of child that always let them know where he was. You know how heart-wrenching that gotta be? To not know where your son at? And you're used to him checking in all the time? And a 50-something-year-old man dealing with a child that's dealing with another child. I hope they find him, God willing. But at the same time, they gonna deal with you back there in that jail, bro. And rightfully so, just like I know for sure, them dudes back there watch the news, just like we watch the news. They crowd around the TV to see what's going on, and they want to know who coming in and why they coming in here. And though we don't condone street justice or violence of that nature, but they gonna deal with him. And karma is just the type of thing that strikes back. You don't control when it strikes back. It strikes when it wants to. Not only that, we've been having a problem in 2026 specifically with juveniles getting shot. we got some cases where these little guys is out here in the street, right? And they getting walked down on just like they walking down on people. And then there's some innocent people getting hit. Innocent lives being taken, little children just who haven't even had a chance to begin to live, dying from senseless violence. And the only time, in my opinion, when it's life or death is if it's about your family and the way you feed your family. And even that's up for debate depending on the type of temperament you have. Because a man should always be in control of his own emotions, so even if I have to do you something, it's calculated. But it's a direct correlation right from the law when the governor changed the law to 18-year-olds being able to carry pistols concealed. Your mind you're not even mature in the mind till you like 26. Your cerebral cortex is still forming. Your decision making is still growing. Because as old as these kids may look sometimes, and some of them look grown, they still children. And you got to treat them like children and put them in a child's place. Back to the village again. You don't throw the child away. You strengthen the village. Make the village be responsible for everything going on over here. You know what I mean? But they changed the laws directly to affect some of these kids. Some of them packing guns to survive all the other people that got guns. Some of them don't mean no harm. I just got to have me one because I know everybody else got one. So should I be out here naked and not have one just to try to prove to people that I'm a good guy? They had one of the guys who did the mall shooting, just like these programs that got cut. Shout out to Chad and them and Roy, all of them. They be doing, mentoring with these young kids, and that was one of their kids under their wing, in the program. So when they did the cutbacks, a lot of these programs went away, and I think that people are under the assumption that the last regime, like the mayor and all that, that just got out of office, like they did all bad. Now they was doing, they was doing just as much good in certain areas that don't normally get attention. And other people want to focus in other places. But the people are the heart and soul of the city at the end of the day. And we can't be as great as we can be if everybody died. Even as a kid, bro, I can remember in '95, we had over 100 murders in '95. So I don't like to hear people act like it just got bad. This has been the culture in BR for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So I try to, that's why I tell my New Orleans people, I'm like, bro, we so busy trying to survive in this bitch. Just like it's wicked down there, man, it's so much smaller here. So imagine that amount of violence that they have. But here, the city is smaller and we more conjoined. You bound us and then when somebody see whoever they need to see, somebody else gonna call and tell you where they at. You know? And that's how the game going right now. Because when you hurt my people, I want to hurt your people for hurting mine. Everybody just swapping pain. Back and forth, swapping pain. Like, when does it end?